Welcome back to the show, guys and girls. I'm going to do a new episode for you today. This is about wrestling, and as you can see from the logo, CMLL is involved. So, I'm going to get to it right now. WWE is reportedly talking to some other companies, in this case CMLL, to put more content onto their library for the WWE network, so other people can watch stuff and they can get more content. Revving up to when the Wednesday Night War is supposed to be happening and stuff like that. Now, for me, I'm not a fan of the modern WWE. I don't watch CMLL as much as I want to, and as much as I watch AAA. But I respect Lucha Libre and the Mexican people all together. Now, fortunate for me, I spent 2, maybe 3 hours last night going through all of the former personnel, wrestlers, whatever you want to call it, on the Wikipedia from the WWE about all the misused Hispanic wrestlers, including the women's. But I couldn't find that many women, so it was mostly men. So don't come at me bitching, complaining. I'm just stating what I found. Now, I'm going to start off. This is not in no particular order because it goes all over the place and I didn't want to spend time organizing and everything. I'm just going by what I see. Now, I'm going down my list. The first one, the original Sin Cara. He was the original Mystical. Right now, he's called Mysticist and got all these other variation of names. He was pretty much the John Cena of Mexico. When he went to WWE, he went straight to the main roster and he floundered. Got injured all the time. They didn't do much with him, and you saw what happened. He did a lot of botches, a lot of injuries, and they released him. Now he's back in Mexico and he's working with New Japan too, and he's not really hurt that much. But he was a wasted talent that should have stayed in Mexico. The next one, this guy was one reason why I liked the lightweight division in the early WWE in the early 2000s. My favorite, S.A. Rios. He goes by a new name. He's been going by a different name in Mexico for a few times now, but what I remember calling it as is S.A. Rios. He was one of the reasons why Lita got so big, because she used to accompany him to the ring, and she was doing like the top rope hurricanrana before she was with Team Extreme with the Hardy Boys, and she was with him. Then they broke up. That manager wrestler connection broke up, and he went back to Mexico to do what he's doing, and she went on to be a Hall of Famer. But he was one reason why I like the light division early WWE. The next one is one of my other favorites. He was in WCW. Juventud Guerrera. Everybody know him as the Juice. He was part of the Filthy Animals in WCW with Eddie, Tori Wilson, Ray, Conan, and Billy Kidman. He was let go due to some incidents, and pretty much he was forced to portray a stereotype of a Hispanic man riding a lawnmower. Yay, Vince. Not too far behind is Psychosis, which I think he made a name for himself in ECW as well as WCW. He really didn't have a chance in the WWE with all the stuff that was doing to him, especially not letting him wear his traditional outfit, the mask and all. He has a new gimmick as a millionaire or whatever, but I don't remember him as Psychosis with the mask and the antics. Next on this, and this is the last guy from the Mexico is super crazy. I don't know how to say this, but Super Crazy was one of my favorite wrestlers. When I was watching ECW One Night Stands, I went back through history and watched some of his other stuff in ECW on TV. And I used to play the video games as well. Play as Super Crazy. As Super Crazy, and I didn't know what I was doing half the time, but I enjoyed it. Sorry about that. My cat started playing around, decided to jump around and stuff. But yeah, from there, Super Crazy really didn't have a chance in the WWE due to the bullshit that was going on and stuff. But I really wish they would have gave him another chance. Give him another chance to showcase his skills before he got too old. But things happen and you can't change it. But yes, those three guys so far on the list are three of my favorites, whether they're in like the top 50 or the top 100. They have great talent, great guys. Next one, not a shocker, Conan. He wasn't WWE as Max Moon and stuff like that, and you can tell he didn't really like that. He was with WCW. He was also part of the 50 Animals. He was part of the NWO. He was part of the NWO Wolfpack, LAX, and a few other factions throughout the history of wrestling, mostly in Mexico and United States. He pretty much left due to his mistreatment and also the mistreatment of plenty of Hispanic wrestlers and non wrestlers who are from Hispanic background, and that list is detailed as a laundry list of Andrew Luck from the Colts, who recently retired. Conan, despite being sometimes an asshole at times, he does stick out for his people, and for that I have to recommend him that. And despite him and his whatever beef with Vampiro, I still respect Conan. I still enjoy seeing him. I'm sad that he can't wrestle as he used to, because I grew up watching him in WCW in the late 90s, early 2000s, but wishing him best love in whatever he does outside of like being an active wrestler. Down from there is Carlito and the Colognes, his brother Epico, and his cousin Primo. I don't know where to start with these guys, because for one, Epico and Primo haven't even been seen for years. I would even be shocked that they're even on a roster at this point, because you don't hear nothing from them. You don't see them. Are they sitting out on their contracts or something? What did they do to get on Vince's bad side? Because they're not doing anything. And at this point, let them go. You have no value in them, Vince. Let both Primo and Epico go and let them do whatever they want to do. Why? Because they have talent and they know how to use it. You guys are just keeping them off the TV just because. And Carlito, he did the smart thing in not resigning or return to WWE. And despite working for various promotions, he's making good money for himself, and he's making a good reputation for himself. Because I've been saying this for years. It's best for wrestlers to work the independents, and I don't just mean the indies. I mean like TNA, Ring of Honor, companies that also have TV deals but allow you to work other places, and you be able to wrestle for various amount of titles instead of just a singles title or a tag team titles. These two guys are unfortunate decide to re-sign for no reason that I know of, and they're stuck in limbo. And Carlito on the other hand, he's out there just living a life. If you want some titles here and there, that's cool, but right now I think he's just doing it for the money, which is unfortunate, because he does have that talent that you can bank on, but he also needs to provide money for himself. So I understand that and I respect that as well as his family. Next one, sorry for if I mispronounce any names on here, is because I don't know any Spanish and I'm just taking a guess on it. But back in, I think in the 70s or 80s, there was a midget wrestler called Super Porky. He wasn't used or utilized the right way in the WWE compared to like AAA, CMLL, where those miniature wrestlers, they're treated just like the big wrestlers, but they give them more leeway because they're shorter and sometimes they might have like miscommunication in moves, but people give them more of a chance to fix stuff. And I feel he wasn't used properly to the fullest, which he should have. But I think he's still wrestling. If he's not, I'm not too perfectly sure, but hope you have a good life. And if you're still alive, keep on living. And if you pass away, may you rest in peace with the good Lord upstairs. Next one is the Los Barriquos from the late 1990s WWF with the gang war where Sato Veda, sorry for mispronunciation, I know his name but I'm not that good. Jose Estrada, who neck was broken due to Edge, who Edge mentioned, I think on his podcast or some kind of video about the whole incident. And for me, if you break somebody's neck or you end somebody's career some way, man, you should be paying them some kind of money, like royalties, like every year or something, because you ended that person's livelihood by doing a botched stuff like that. And I mean for any company. So you be not reckless or try to rush stuff. And the last one is Miguel Perez Jr. He was pretty much just there. He was just fodder, where they're using entertainment words. He was just there just to take a job and just take moves. That's it. He wasn't even utilized the right way. And when Sadia Vega left, they didn't do nothing much with him either. He was gone afterwards. The next one is Mascarada Sangrada, another short wrestler. I believe he's the original of his character in AAA. I also seen him in Lucha Underground and Lucha Libre USA. I think that was on Hulu. I remember seeing him. He's a very talented wrestler. WWE didn't do nothing with him to build up his career or anything like that. And I think it was between 2005 and 2010 they had a few midget wrestlers on the roster to go against Hornswoggle and stuff like that. Pablo Marquez, pretty much another unknown name that many people don't know about. They hardly did anything with him. He had a decent run. Didn't go anywhere in WWE. He was just there. Decent wins and stuff like that. But like I said, unless you are a superstar talent, you're not going to get far in WWE. So, sorry for that, guys, but no dice. Next one, I think some of you hardcore fans know Shota Martinez, also known as Ariel, Salinas in Impact Wrestling. She was the valet for Kevin Thorne, Mordecai, and she was let go because I guess she was either going to file a sexual harassment complaint or she just wasn't needing in WWE because some issues. I do remember she had an incident, I think her and Batista, which that's not the first time Batista got an issue with a Hispanic woman in the WWE. He had another one with Melina, but she wasn't utilized right in the WWE. She was utilized as a valet, which I'm pretty sure she might have liked that, but at the same time, they didn't do much with her. They just put out there like, eye candy and just skimpy clothes. And that's part of the gimmick, yes, but at the same time, let her show her other sides. Let her wrestle the way she wants to wrestle, stuff like that. Especially when he was on Sci-Fi with hardly anybody watching. Give her a break or something. But she retired. More power to her, and I hope the best things are ahead for her. Next one is El Toro. He was Epico and Primo's mascot. He was the little bull. They pretty much did nothing with him at all except put him in the gimmick spots, and that's it. They didn't try to further his career. He was just there just to take a paycheck, pretty much. And he doesn't have any memorable moments, and that's very sad, especially with his talent and his background. From what I've read, like all the rest of these wrestlers, they're on the either retired or they're working the independents, and they're doing a comfortable living, but not as well what it should have been if they was with the WWE and left with like a good reputation, get like name value and stuff like that, like most guys are. The next one is not a shock, and the next one is pretty much related to a former wrestler who's in the Hall of Fame. Hector Guerrero. He was not utilized as correctly as his brother Eddie, who was a Hall of Famer, and he died due to taking too many drugs and steroids and stuff like that. Hector was the replacement for Mark Calloway, who is the Undertaker, for the Gobbledygooker gimmick. Yes, Hector was that stupid chicken that hacks from the egg, and while he was doing that, his brother, I believe, was working ECW. Then he moved on to WCW, then that from WWE, but it's just sad how they utilize him. And I do believe Eddie and Hector were either twins or they were just like a year or two apart, but pretty much they looked the same. So it would have been more beneficial to bring both brothers in at the same time, even if Hector have to like get some intensive training and they brought in Eddie. But do something, bring him in, have him like as the fifth radical, and have him and Eddie tag together and help build that Latino demographic by having two Latino brothers holding tag team titles for like say a year, maybe 2.5 years or something like that, because that's not hard to do in the WWE, and let them build around that. And then when Ray debuts, that's like another influx of Hispanic viewership, and that bring more to the WWE. But what it turned out to be, it pretty much didn't bring that many Hispanics to the WWE compared to what the WWE wanted. But it is what it is. AAA's getting big, CMLL's getting big, all these other promotions that's using luchadors right way are getting big, so I'm happy for that. Next one, and one of my favorites, is Low Key, also known as Senshi. And when he was in WWE's NXT brand, the stupid TV show, he was Caval. When he was with it, he even said he didn't feel like he was a wrestler, he's just like a servant, and how they treated him by giving two women. Now, hear me when I say this. They gave him two women who was pretty much acting like comedy acts, and they wasn't doing anything to help him further his career. Now, I have no problem if they had like two hard-hitting women as his mentor or trainers, but they gave him two women that was pretty much a burden to him, because he can I'm pretty sure he out-wrestles both Layla and Michelle. And if either one of them want to come up and say, oh, we can do better than Low-Key any day week, I'm going to say bullshit. I'm going to say straight up bullshit. Because Michelle, she didn't even come from a wrestling background. She was a model or something. Later, she was a Miami Heat dancer, a dancer in general. She has no wrestling skills, and you can see in their matches it was pretty much bland. But low-key had all the talent in the world. He just didn't want to be put down like so many other wrestlers have been doing in WWE. And good thing for him. He went back to TNA, held the title a few times. He left, came back, left, and did his own thing in MLW, being pretty much the cornerstone of that company. And I'm very proud of the man because he's a hell of a wrestler, and you don't get anywhere without people saying bad things about you, yet the fans know everything that's going on. So people say low-key is stupid, low-key is that, but they're mostly WWE fans who don't actually follow his career, or they just say stuff just to talk shit. If they really want to talk shit, they get in the ring with him and he'll run circles around him even before they even lay a hand on him. So, more power to low-key. Since you, what you want to call yourself, man? You got my love, got my respect, and got my support. The last one on my list is pretty much, he pretty much didn't get anywhere except for holding like 1 or 2 titles. Ricky Ortiz, he was with WWE under the transitional ECW brand. He was, I think he was with the SmackDown roster for a little bit too, but he just came out with in what I think athletic pants, big afro hair, and just a towel, I think it was. And I saw he do have talent. He can do things in the ring, but they just didn't pull the trigger. They didn't give him anything meaningful to do, and he was just relegated just to be a joke. Granted, he's been married to Leda for like the past few years, but at the same time, I would like to see that dude at least get higher up on the roster and give him a chance. So many times people say, oh, you gotta take the brass ring, you gotta take this, blah 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 from Vince, and you see what happens when that happens. Even when you're polite and trying to help people out, you see what happened. Titus O'Neil, he got in big trouble because he was stopping Vince so Stephanie McMahon can walk first, because ladies first. That's how you was trained. Ladies go first. Unless they're acting like a little bitch, then you don't let them go first. Then Vince got mad because of that. And then you see what happens when Vince act like a little bitch. You see people sitting at home just waiting at the contract. You have people openly trying to get out of the contracts, doing whatever they can to get out of contracts, and you have people bringing up all of the wrestling, all these other companies, knowing full well Vince will not let them go. So Vince, you cause these issues, you cause all of these problems, and you expect CMLL to work alongside you. Let me clear something up for you, Vince. And let me drink this real quick, because I'm about to break down some stuff that some people don't know about. Selena Vega's wrestler, Andrade, also known as, I forgot his name. What was it in CMLL? Los Hombres. He was with I think his friend Rush and stuff, something like that. He was openly telling Rush not to sign with the WWE. Now he's getting married or whatever not to Charlotte Flair, but don't let that slip past you. He was openly telling another Hispanic wrestler not to sign with the WWE because he see what's going on, but yet now he's in bed with the stereotypical white chick, blue eyes, blah 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 blah, that he's misguided, whereas Rush is in ROH, which is pretty much stagnant right now, but Rush is still wrestling, still in CMLL. He went to Japan a few times and stuff like that. So if you have a wrestler of a certain demographic telling somebody within that demographic not to come to that company, that should say something about it. And if anybody bring up, oh, what about Alberto Del Rios? Alberto had how many championship runs? And I mean top championships, not just the middle ones. All the people I listed, they didn't get a top championship run or even hardly a mid-card run. See what I'm saying? So, CMLL, I might not watch your content. I might not know your wrestlers except from Xerxes, who is a very fine wrestler. But do not do business with the devil. They said the older a white man gets, the more demonic chances of him becoming demonic is very high. I know plenty of older white men who aren't even near that stereotypical type, whatever. But Vince is. He's a checker point. He does not care for other demographics. Only thing he cares about is making money. And if he signs you and you're not a good wrestler, he's gonna let you sit at home, wasting your career away. Now, many wrestlers do not take that into consideration when they sign. And then when they don't get, then when things turn awry, they want to leave. And it's like, you can't leave because I ain't clear contract. So you normally sign the contract knowing the history, and yet now you're mad. The only chance you got is if all these states doing the same thing what California is doing is, if you are employed with the WWE and you go to California, you are considered an employee, which means you have all the benefits and all the downfalls of being an employee under a corporation like the WWE, and WWE have to recognize you as one. So if you don't see WWE going to California anytime soon, that is why, because California is pushing that bill and make that into law very soon. So I might sound angry, I might sound hatred. I'm not. I love Lucha Libre. I follow so many luchadors on Instagram. It's not even funny. I can't say his full name, but I call him as Vikingo. Vikingo, yeah. He's one that AAA's young stars. Dude look like a Viking, look like $1 million to me actually, with all his movements and style. I follow Xerxes, as I stated, who is from CMLL. Now she's working independent scene. I think she's going back to CMLL a few times, but if she end up in WWE, I'm doing what I do with so many wrestlers like Sam to WWE or Sam to WWE. I unfollow them and I block them. I'm not gonna follow you if you with the WWE and shit happens. I follow Lady Shani. She's the crown jewel. She's the face of women's wrestling in AAA. I follow Hanada, who used to be with Impact Wrestling. Now she's just with AAA, and I think her mother Hispanic and her father's Asian, but I'm not sure. But she works heavily in Mexico. Like I said, I'm not good with names, so I call her Little Hydra. She's in AAA. She's friends with Lady Shani and stuff like that. Dr. Wagner Jr., I follow him. No, not Dr. Wagner, not his son. Dr. Wagner, I follow him. Drago, Thunder Rosa. So many of them I follow and I enjoy. So if you are a fan of Lucha Libre and you listen to this, do whatever you can, share it, tell all your luchador friends or aspiring luchadors, when you get to a certain level in your career, do not sign with the WWE whatsoever, because if you go there, you will leave battered, bruised. Your bank account will not be as big as you hope it would be, and it's not worth it. You're going to be locked pretty much in a box, and you have to kiss ass or even go against your own people just to get out the box and see that glass, that iron ceiling that you can't even penetrate. So that's this video. I know it's running a little bit long, almost 30 minutes, but I say this: if I'm very passionate about something, I'm gonna let it go on a little bit longer. Why? Because I know what I'm talking about. I did my research and I love it. So share, like, subscribe. Tell everybody about this video. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep doing these videos, and this is one of my favorite videos I've done so far. So have fun, enjoy life, and I'm gonna edit this sometime this week. I'm gonna release it this coming Friday. I think it was the 21st. The 20th, and it will be up on the 20th. So everybody enjoy it. Have a good night. Have fun, and just remember one thing. If you don't remember anything else from this video, just remember this. Stay out of the blast rays. You might get burned positively.